I use my iPad for content creation, and by content I mean videos, music, yes, I do my own music on the iPad, and blogging. And I usually use my iPhone 6 for content consuming, except for some video watching sometimes on the iPad too. And the reason why I use the iPhone for content consuming and not the iPad is because it's always with me in my pocket, so I can consume content anywhere, anytime, where I am. It's, for example, much easier to check my Flipboard stream on the iPhone when I'm standing in line in the city, for example, instead of doing that on my iPad. And to me, some of the content consuming apps is still much better on the iPhone than it is on the iPad. For example, Flipboard. I like the design of Flipboard much better on the iPhone than it is on the iPad. And the same thing with my favorite news app called Nuzzle. It's much better on the iPhone than it is on the iPad, strangely. And I even prefer to use the iPhone to read ebooks on, especially at night when I'm laying in bed, because I often lay on my side reading, and having the iPad then is very awkward. So I prefer using my iPhone 6 to read ebooks with too. And I also use the iPhone 6 to listen to podcasts. I usually listen to podcasts in my car, so that's why my iPhone automatically connects to the car, and I listen to podcasts through the iPhone 6 instead of the iPad that lays in my bag. So to me, both devices is still needed. I need to have my iPad as my content creation device because I live in the post-PC era and use my iPad instead of normal computers. And I still need the iPhone to have for content consuming. But this year I will buy the larger iPhone 6s Plus instead of the smaller iPhone 6s. And the reason for that is that I have had my iPhone 6 now since launch, and it's an excellent phone. I have no problem with it at all. It's perfect, really. But I want to try to have a larger phone again. So I want to try the 5.5-inch iPhone 6s Plus this time, and to see how much of the iPad stuff I can do on the larger iPhone 6s Plus. Who knows, maybe I can use the iPhone 6s Plus for a lot of the stuff I do on the iPad, but I can't do video editing though, because iMovie for iPhone is much worse than it is on iPad. So it will be very exciting to try the larger iPhone 6s Plus next time. So I will see how good it is and how hard it is to carry with me in my pocket, for example, because it's larger. But it will be interesting to try. This will be a kind of experiment for me to try how good the iPhone 6s Plus is. Okay, this was some of my thoughts and opinions about how I use my iPhone compared to how I use my iPad. Okay, bye.